Do you want to write a love song? In this video I will analyse 6 of the biggest love songs to give you the definitive love song chord progression. We've all heard a love song. Whether you have a favourite one that perfectly evokes how you feel about that certain person, or you hate the cliched overuse of love to sell records, their place in popular music is undeniable. And the numbers back this up, with almost 10% of all Billboard Hot 100 number ones having the word love in the song title. But is there anything that these emotional hits have in common? Is it possible to find a formula to create the ultimate love song chord progressions? Or can you just take any song, put some heartfelt vocals over the top, and have a Valentines hit on your hands? Let's find out. To begin with, I needed to find a list of love songs to analyse. I'm sure you've got some tunes in your head already, as there are so many love songs in almost any genre you can think of. And love itself is such a wide theme for songs, it can cover falling in love, heartbreak, unrequited love, reconciliation, and much, much more. So this was a difficult task. I decided that in order to make a video that was informative and representative of a range of love songs, but not overly long, I would look at 6 songs. After researching the most streamed and biggest selling love songs in the UK and the USA, I drew up the following list of 6. Hopefully there are at least a couple of songs here that you recognise. Apologies if your favourite isn't here. Many of these have been written by other people or sung by other artists over the years. You may also remember them from some well-known movies. We Found Love by Rihanna featuring Calvin Harris, She Loves You by the Beatles, Love Is All Around by the Troggs, Careless Whisper by George Michael, Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams, and I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton. I'll now take each song in turn and analyse it. I'll collate information about the keys of the songs, the chords used and the tempo. I'll also note the types of chords used and how often the chords change. I'll focus on the chorus or most memorable part of the songs involved. You'll hear the song's chords played in HookPad with a simple piano sound. There's a link in the description if you want to get HookPad and follow along. Stripping the songs of their production like this will allow us to compare them more easily. Let the love songs commence. First up is We Found Love by Rihanna featuring Calvin Harris. We Found Love is a song by Rihanna from her 6th studio album, Talk That Talk. Scottish DJ Calvin Harris wrote, produced and features on the song, which also appears on his 3rd album, 18 Months. It was released in September 2011. The song was a major worldwide success. It topped the US Billboard Hot 100 for 10 non-consecutive weeks, becoming the longest running number 1 single of 2011. Let's have a listen to the chorus now. I've presented the song in the key of D sharp minor / Aeolian, but it can also be thought of as in F sharp major. I'll discuss this in a moment. It is played at a tempo of 128 BPM and with a 4/4 time signature. Because this is an electro house song, it is more upbeat and repetitive than what might be considered a traditional love song. But I felt it was worth considering as part of the range of love songs as it was so popular when released. As presented, the chorus is based around a 1-6-3-7 progression and has a duration of 8 bars. As mentioned, you can also think of this song as being in the F sharp major key. If you do this, then the chorus uses a 6-4-1-5 pattern. Whatever key you choose, the chords and rhythm are the same. I'll assume for the rest of this analysis that we are in the key of D sharp minor / Aeolian. Each bar is rhythmically set up the same way, which creates the repetition throughout the chorus. They are divided into 6 chords. The first 4 have a duration of a dotted 8th note. Another way to think about this is as 3/4 of a beat, with the bar having a total of 4 beats. The final 2 chords in each bar have a shorter duration of an 8th note, or half a beat. The chords change in the same place in every bar. You hear a chord 3 times and then it changes. This means that the first chord in a bar is heard for slightly longer than the second chord. So fitting the chords I mentioned earlier into this rhythmic scaffolding, then the chorus starts on the 1 chord D sharp minor. It then moves to the 6 chord B major. The next bar starts on the F sharp major 3 chord. After hearing that 3 times as before, the song moves to the second inversion C sharp 7 chord. This is a C sharp major triad with the G sharp in the bass, also written as C sharp / G sharp. The reason for this second inversion here is to coincide with a G sharp note being heard in the melody at the same time. Although C sharp major already has G sharp as one of its notes, by playing it in the bass like this it stands out more and sounds even more harmonious with the melody. It also gives the bass line a different movement to the standard C sharp chord. If you want more help with chord inversions, then there are links in the description below. The chorus then simply repeats this 2-bar sequence 4 times. Whatever key you approach this from, it uses simple but effective chord progressions. Some variation in the melody is heard through the chorus, but as I said earlier, this is a very repetitive song. The next song in the list is She Loves You by the Beatles. She Loves You is a song written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney and recorded by English rock band The Beatles for release as a single in 1963. This is another upbeat tune and not a more traditional slow ballad you would most associate with love songs. I wanted to include a range of love songs because of the broad nature of love as discussed earlier, and it's always interesting to look at the Beatles' music. She Loves You is in the key of G major and has a tempo of 152 beats per minute. The song section I'm focusing on has the She Loves You Yeah 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 refrain. Some would consider this the chorus, others might call it the post-chorus. It has 8 bars, but as you can see we have 9 bars. The first bar with the 5-chord D major is the end of the previous song section, but contains the first note of the chorus melody with the word she. The first bar of this section proper is split in 2. The first half plays the 6-chord E minor, it then moves to the E minor second inversion for half a bar. This puts the B note in the bass. This idea is used to make an interesting bass line. In a band setting, it is more likely that the guitar player will just play a standard E minor chord, and the bass player will alternate between E and B notes to produce the same effect. This idea carries over into the next bar. Starting again on the standard E minor chord, the second half of the bar is further split in 2, again alternating from second inversion to standard 6 chord. This rhythmic idea is then repeated in the next 2 bars. The difference this time is that the chords change. The song moves to an A major chord. You can see that this is referred to as the 5/5 or the 5 of 5 chord. This is also known as the secondary dominant of the 5 chord. There's a secondary dominant explainer video in the description if you want to learn more about these chords. The alternating between the standard triad and second inversion is repeated again to keep the bass line moving. In the next bar, the C minor chord is played, for a total of 2.5 beats. This C minor chord sounds unexpected and abrupt. The 5 of 5 chord you saw in the previous bar usually resolves to the 5 chord, but here this has been delayed by the C minor chord. The C minor chord is also not in the key of G major. The 4 chord would normally be a C major chord, but this is a minor 4 chord. This can be thought of as a borrowed chord from the parallel G minor key. You could also call it a parallel chord or reverse polarity chord. If you want to learn more about parallel keys, then check out my video below. In major keys, these minor 4 chords are often used in ballads, but also feature in darker songs such as James Bond theme tunes. Listen to the tragic but sweet tension it provides here before I pause in the song for added drama. Next up, we finally get to the 5 chord that the secondary dominant was longing for. This resolution is even more pleasing after the delay. The D dominant 7th also has another function here, setting up a perfect cadence back to the 1 chord G major. This tension and resolution creates a satisfying end to this song section. It's also the only time that the 1 tonic chord is heard. You can see that what is considered one of the simpler Beatles songs has lots of interesting songwriting techniques and ideas contained within it. Next up is Love Is All Around by the Troggs. Love Is All Around is a song recorded by English rock band the Troggs. Released as a single in October 1967, it was a top 10 hit in both the UK and the USA. It has also been covered by R.E.M. and Wet Wet Wet, cementing it as one of the most well-known love songs. Let's have a listen to the chorus of the song. The song is in the key of D major. I'll use the wet 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 version for analysis here. It has a slower tempo of 79 beats per minute. This is the first song I've shown you that is in classic, slow, love ballad territory. It is also arguably the simplest song seen so far. The chorus uses only 4 chords over 9 bars. The chords change at the same rate of once per bar throughout. The first bar starts with the 4 chord G major, then it moves to the E minor 2 chord before returning to the 4 chord. A plagial cadence is then heard when the song uses the 1 tonic chord D major in bar 4. The movement then continues when the 4 chord is played next. The final 4 bars spread 2 chords over 2 bars each. First is the minor 2 chord again, adding a feeling of sadness by dwelling on it. Finally, you have the first appearance of the 5A dominant 7th chord. Holding this chord for 2 bars helps to build up some tension and prepare for a resolution with the 1 chord at the start of the verse. This video isn't looking at melodies, but it is worth noting that this song's melody strongly follows the root note of every chord. This adds to the safe, predictable nature of the song, but hasn't stopped it from being an international hit. Next we have Careless Whisper by George Michael. Careless Whisper is a song written by George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley. It was released on the 1984 Wham album, Make It Big, and is often credited solely as George Michael. As a single, it reached number 1 in nearly 25 countries, and is instantly recognisable with its prominent saxophone riff. If you've seen our Christmas chord progression video, you'll know that it features another big-selling Wham hit. Check it out in the description below if you're feeling festive. Let's have a listen to the chorus of Careless Whisper now. The song is in the key of D minor/Aeolian and has a slow tempo of 76 beats per minute. The chorus is spread over 8 bars and roughly follows a 1-4-6-5 progression. The first bar sets up a rhythmic idea that is repeated throughout the song. A chord is heard for 3 beats before changing briefly for a single beat. In the first bar, you first hear the 1 chord D minor for 3 beats and then change to D minor 7th for the final beat. This song utilises several minor 7th and major 7th chords. Using these chord types together is common in slower ballads to provide a smooth, relaxing feeling. Check out my playlist link below to learn more about these chords. The second bar recycles the rhythmic idea from bar 1. First up is the 4 G minor 7th chord. This laid-back chord is followed briefly by the 5 A minor 7th chord. This chord is only heard briefly, and in a minor key has a gentle pull to the 1 chord when not played as a major chord. This loose expectation is delayed in bar 3 with the 6 B-flat major 7th chord. This is the first and only major chord that is heard in the chorus, so provides a brief glimmer of light. It is also playing a role of further delaying the 1 chord, so continues the tense undercurrent. Bars 3 and 4 stay on a single chord each. Bar 4 returns to the 5 A minor 7th chord that was briefly introduced earlier. This sets up the return to the 1 chord as discussed. After this, the whole chord progression simply repeats again. I feel like this is the first song that is ticking all the classic love song boxes that many people consider. Minor key, slower tempo, gentle 7th chords, and a simple structure. But as we've seen, this isn't always the case. On to the next song, Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams. Everything I Do It For You is a song by Canadian singer-songwriter Bryan Adams. The power ballad was the lead single for both the soundtrack album from the 1991 film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves and Adams' 6th studio album, Waking Up the Neighbours. The single was released on June the 17th, 1991. The song was an enormous chart success internationally, reaching the #1 position on the music charts of BPM, the slowest we've seen so far. It spans 7 bars and only uses 3 chords: 2 E flat minor, 1 D flat major, and 5 A flat major. The first bar uses a rhythmic idea you saw in the previous song. A chord is heard for 3 beats before changing. In this example, it is the 2 chord E flat minor before briefly moving to the 1 chord D flat major. You can see that the first half of the chorus is dominated by the minor 2 chord. This gives the chorus an initially melancholic feeling, with the brief glimpse of the 1 chord providing enough movement and interest to keep things dynamic. The second bar is just the minor 2 chord. Then for bars 3 and 4, the first 2 bars are repeated. In bar 5, the song moves to an entire bar of the 1 chord D flat major. After being bogged down in the minor chord, this simple move feels like stepping into sunlight. The heroic feeling continues as the next chord is the A flat major 5 chord. This sets up a familiar perfect cadence when the final bar returns to the 1 chord. This progression is a great example of how sometimes less is more. Even the simplest 3 chord progression can take the listener on a journey. Now we'll take a look at I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton. I Will Always Love You is a song written and originally recorded in 1973 by American singer-songwriter Dolly Parton. The song has been covered by many different artists in many different styles over the years. Whitney Houston recorded a soul ballad arrangement of the song for the 1992 film The Bodyguard. Houston's version peaked at #1 in the Billboard Hot 100 for a then record-breaking 14 weeks. Let's have a listen to the chorus of the song. The song is in the key of A major and has a tempo of 68 beats per minute. The song chorus spans 6 bars, focusing on the 1-6-4-5 progression. Each bar is evenly divided in 2, so that the chords change twice per bar. This means that despite the slow tempo, the song still feels like it's moving along. The first 4 bars cycle through the 1-6-4-5 chords in order twice. This is known as a turnaround, which is a common feature in songwriting. Check out my How to Write a Major Key Song video linked below to learn more. When this repetitive progression is broken in the second half of bar 6 with the 4 chord, it really stands out. This isn't a new chord, but we're expecting the F sharp minor 6 chord in this position, and when we're presented with a different chord, it makes it feel like something is off or not right. With this being a major chord, it adds an unexpected brightness. The final bar uses the 1 chord again, and then a 1 chord second inversion provides a step up for the verse to come. This is another simple, effective love song. So what have we learnt from these 6 love song chord progressions? 4 of the songs are clearly in a major key, but as discussed, many love songs utilise minor keys. It normally depends on what aspect of love the songwriter is trying to evoke. 4 of the songs had tempos in the 70 BPM area, with a more traditional ballad feel. However, as we saw, you do get upbeat love songs, so you can't say love songs have to be slower than average. We saw a range of rhythmic ideas, creating interesting chord changes even at slower tempos. There were also very straightforward 1 or 2 chords per bar progressions. This is as you would expect with any popular song. Chord types were generally simple major or minor triads. We saw the use of seventh chords in a more traditional smooth ballad style as well. The chord choices could be used in any pop song and don't hint to a love theme in isolation. All of this analysis leaves me with a general feeling that love songs can't be defined by chord progressions alone. As such, using the analysis you've watched to make a chord progression wouldn't get us any closer to a love song than before we started. But all of this work hasn't been a waste of time, as it helps to reveal something interesting. A love song is a multifaceted genre that can be difficult to define. It encompasses a wide range of emotions and ideas, from minor sounding sadness to major sounding joy. The music itself can also vary greatly, with everything from ambiguous and confusing chord sounds to clear and simple triads. In essence, the entire spectrum of harmony and song genre is represented in love songs. The one thing that can define a love song is lyrics. The words of a love song add depth and meaning to the music, providing context and emotion to the chord choices. Even when the love being sung about is ambiguous or hidden, the lyrics can still convey the powerful feelings associated with love, often through the use of double meanings and clever wordplay. The lyrics in a love song have the power to inspire and move us, making it a truly special genre in music. When it comes to songwriting, the key is to let inspiration guide you. Whether it's an emotion or a specific event that sparks your creativity, trust your instincts and let it take you where it may. This might lead you to a chord progression you've used before, or somewhere entirely new, but that's the beauty of songwriting. It's a journey of self-discovery and creativity, and by following our inspiration, we open ourselves up to the endless possibilities of music. So embrace the unknown and let your inspiration lead the way, and remember why you love writing songs. Love lies in a song's lyrics. Watch the playlist on screen now to find your true love.